Let's compare some soil. I have not ever tried this soil yet. So I got two different kinds to try out. I noticed these in my friend's hydroponic store when I was in there the other day and thought, I'll give these a shot. I'm always trying different things, so why not? And it gives me something to show you. So these are Mother Earth soils. They got really fancy packaging. They're kind of nice. This is Groundswell Performance Soil, and this one is Cocoa Peat Performance Soil. And they're actually not that much different, but I thought we'd give them both a shot. Let me flip them over, I'll show you. They actually list the ingredients pretty well. So this one, which is the soil, here's the list of ingredients. Just give you a second to be able to look that over. I'm not going to read it to you. And then this is the cocoa one, the ingredients. And the thing I noticed, I didn't compare everything, but I think the only big difference is that this has cocoa fiber as its number one ingredient, assuming that the largest ingredients are first. Where this one has aged fir bark. And I think that's the only difference. They both have peat moss, so I'm going to give these a shot. We'll try them on a couple different microgreens. We'll try them side by side and see if there's a difference between them in performance and see if I like them. I'm going to be planting a few of my really common microgreens. So we'll go with red arrow radish, red Russian kale, go with Rambo purple radish, and Hongvit radish. Also some mammoth red rock cabbage and some broccoli. For the sake of the video, for the sake of time, I'm only going to plant one tray in the video and show you, but I'll be doing them all today and stacking them all, and I'll show you after I unstack them. But to see the difference in the soil, we'll just do one tray on camera. I'll be using my Frosted Flakes cereal bowl for a measuring device. I always use 3 scoops. So this first one is the cocoa-based soil. I can already see one thing I really like, which is that it's loaded with perlite. So that's 3 healthy scoops there. Now for the Groundswell Performance Soil. Also loaded with perlite. Let's give you a little bit better picture. This here is the cocoa based, and this is the Groundswell soil. They're both really nice looking soils. So let's get back to spreading that out. Now one thing you might have noticed when you were looking at the ingredients on the back of the bags is that both these soils are absolutely loaded with nutrients. Just all kinds of stuff like bat guano, fish bone meal, all kinds of different stuff, kelp. So these soils should work really great for a long growing microgreen, like beets. Amaranth might do well on this, but for the first test, we're just going to do some of the simple stuff. But I'm convinced that you'd be able to grow the long-term stuff on this without having to add any new nutrients to it. I'm going to go water this in pretty heavy. They both took the water extremely well, really absorbed it. There's no like puddling up. It didn't try to like repel the soil, repel the water in any way. So that's a good sign. So this is going to be the Rambo, and I'll do 3 tablespoons of this. Now I'm just going to mist these to make sure that the seed is wet all over. Now I'm just going to put these on my racks and I will stack all the other trays up with them. We'll check back in a few days, about 4 days. That should be good enough to germinate everything, and we'll see how they're doing. All right, so I just unstacked everything. Everything was stacked for 4 days. It's a little bit cooler in here than normal. It's been staying about 62, so things are a little bit slower to germinate than normal, but the broccoli is still germinating great. Everything on the right-hand side is the cocoa blend, and everything on the left-hand side is the soil. There's no differences so far. Everything's just sprouting really good. This is Red Russian kale, 2 trays. Here we've got Mammoth Red Rock cabbage. It's the Rambo radish. This is the Hungvit radish. And this is Red Arrow radish. So I'll update this in another, probably 2 more days. I'll update and see how things are going. I really don't expect there to be any difference, but I'm just curious how the soil works in general. Everything's been uncovered now and under lights for about 4 days. And some of the stuff will be getting harvested up tomorrow. But I'm going to conclude this video today anyways, and just show you where I'm at. Some stuff's still going to be another week before it's ready, and other stuff will be ready tomorrow. But in short, there's basically no difference between the cocoa-based soil and the just performance soil. But let's see what happened. Here is the broccoli. And again, on all these, the cocoa-based soil is on the right, and the regular soil is on the left. And they look basically exactly the same. You can see that this tray, they're leaning, and that's only because the lights end. So it's not exactly ideal, but it's good enough. Over here, I have the Red Russian kale. That's looking great. I'll grow that for another week. And over here I have the Red Rock cabbage. Also looking fantastic. Again, these ones are leaning in because of my light ending. Those I will probably also let go for another 4 or 5 days. They could be harvested tomorrow, but I'm not going to push it. There's no reason to. I don't need them right away. Here is my Rambo radish. Now the Rambo radish, I didn't get great germination, but as I've said, it's a little bit cooler in here than it would normally be, but everything else germinated really great except for this and the Hongvit. Purple radishes do tend to grow a little bit slower and don't have quite the germination of some of the regular like red stem radishes, but these will probably go for another 3 to 4 days. It helps if you mist them, which I haven't been doing, but I'm going to mist the tops of these, and that will help pop some of these seed hulls off the leaves and allow them to open up. But again, it didn't really matter. Both soils performed exactly the same. Here I have some really nice trays of the Red Arrow radish. Red Arrow is just, it's one of my staples. It's a very inexpensive radish. Grows great. And so again, both trays about the same. I think on the Red Arrow, I might see a difference. So the cocoa core seems like it did a little bit better. So see the height on these ones? So this is the cocoa core. And the height on the regular soil based. And the other thing I see is the leaves look like they're more opened up on the coco core versus the soil base. I wouldn't put too much weight into that. It could just be any reason, really. It could be that maybe this one's in a colder, maybe that one's in a colder area, maybe it was stacked in a colder area, maybe it was different levels of where it was stacked within the stack when I planted them. Like it could have been a higher one or a lower one. I don't know. One more thing. Earlier in the video, I said that these were the Hong Vit, and I want to correct myself. These are not. These are Red Arrow. Down here is the Hong Vit, and these are on my lowest shelf in the room that I use. There is one more shelf below this that I don't use. I use for storage. And in this room, the lower you get, the colder it is. This floor is not really warm in this room, but you can see that it's still got a lot of seed hulls that need to pop off. And you can also see that there's a little bit of yellow on some of the leaves where the hulls have really stuck a little bit longer. But what they do have is some really nice color, and that's the coco core. And over here is the soil. So they're both, again, they're pretty much identical. These may be ready tomorrow, but probably not quite. Probably another 2 to 3 days. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like and subscribe if you're not already, if you enjoy these videos. As far as my recommendation on the soil goes, is I'd use it. I've got no issue with this soil at all. I'm very happy with it. It's growing great whether you get the soil-based or the cocoa-based. And as I said before, they both have way more nutrients than what you need for a microgreen grow. Maybe I'll do a longer grow test on these, on something like amaranth. Doesn't need a ton of nutrition, but it does help a little. Or basil. Maybe I'll try some basil. Or maybe I'll do some other herb or something like that and just see how they do. I picked them up just to try them. I don't think that I would replace my Pro Mix, which I usually use Pro Mix soil. I don't think that I would switch to this. This is a little bit more expensive. I can't remember exactly how much more expensive, but this is a little bit more of a boutique soil, where that Pro Mix soil I've been using is more of a it's more of a producer's type soil, so something you would use a lot of. And you don't need a ton of nutrients, which the Pro Mix doesn't have a ton. It has enough. So yeah, I'd go ahead and give this Mother Earth brand a shot if you find it near you. And that's going to do it. Thanks for watching.